getting into Willy Wonka. Not a lot of people we don't let a lot of people in. We don't have people come in. So it's got all the lateral information. Just so you get an idea of how precision it moves.
Hey guys, welcome back. So today I am in LA randomly. It is car related, not car related at the same time. I'm just out here for a quick trip, literally in and out, in today, out tomorrow, like pretty early. So I flew in just a little bit earlier than I had to so I could check it out because I love spending time in California. I don't know why. Great place to visit. Got lots of family out here, but not seeing any family today. Something I am seeing, however, is Isky Racing Cams. So I've been here before and had a chance to tour, but I was super close to it today, so had a little bit of time, so thought I'd stop by. I know there is a new cam grinder in the shop, lots of other stuff, so I thought I'd take you guys for a tour and see what all happens inside of Isky Racing Cams. Like I said, been here before. There's lots of history in the building. This is the original building. For some reason, I feel like there's one before that. We'll ask and we'll correct that if I'm wrong. But anyways, gonna go in, check it out, and I see palm trees in the background, which makes me happy. But that is not the point of this. So let's go in.
Not a great angle.
What angle do you want?
From up there.
Too bad. That's fine. Okay, so we're back. We're live. So Nolan here. This is the guy that was in the last YouTube video that stood on his phone and texted while we were all working.
I was gonna help Wes Buck. He was there changing the tire, and I thought he's got it handled. I didn't help, and then he tore his bicep. Poor Wes. So sorry, Wes. I should have helped you out.
Yeah, but more importantly,
yes.
I came here in 2020 right before like the world ended.
For sure.
And we got some videos and pictures and stuff like that. But I never actually did any video like tour or anything. So this is the first.
This is the first. Yeah.
So I thought it would be cool. You guys have a fancy new machine in the back.
We have been investing in a lot of infrastructure for the company now. Yeah, definitely. We have the latest and greatest Landis cam grinder.
So, I think it'd be neat to see the process from beginning, like where Ed started with his first cam grinder, to like this monster of a machine that's back there right now.
We'll bring you out in the shop and show you the very first cam grinder that Ed ever ground on, that the company started on. It all started from this one cam grinder. That was made in early 1900s.
That's pretty wild.
And that's what he started grinding on in the 40s.
So something when I was like doing my intro that I was not sure. This is, for some reason, this isn't the original building, but it's basically the original, right? Yeah.
So what happened was we were in Culver City for many years. So we were on the same little plot of land, which the building is still there. And it was Edelbrock, and everybody was there in that little building, and it grew from there. And then we moved here in the 60s. We had this built in 100,000 square feet plant. So yeah, pretty good size. Yeah, pretty good size.
So that answers the question that I had earlier. But I say we head back there and check it out because it's a pretty neat process. The new process, I don't even know if you can call the new one a process.
Yeah, well, it's the interesting thing about it is that you'll see from the 1940s,
that's
all the way through to the 70s, 80s, and then all the way through to 2022 and beyond. So it's the best cam grinder that's built right now by Landis, and our guy Tom that's out there worked at Landis for many years, so he's dialed in the machine for us and got us up to speed. So it's really interesting to see all the stages of cam grinding history all in one building. And some parts still being utilized. Like we were out there and you saw a 6-cylinder being done. Yeah. It was a dinosaur motor. It's a 60, 70-year-old motor, but we can still do it. And then all the new stuff, like the LSs, are all done on the Landis. Yeah.
All kinds of cores out there, like so many different things. So we'll go check it out. But in case you guys didn't know, you guys have probably seen Isky associated with everything Street Outlaws and Drag and Drive. So
Street Outlaws, Drag and Drive, everything really.
Everything, but I'm just.
Yeah, Ed got his big start when he started growing in the Cup Series. Early on, he started using his cams. This is in the 50s. So yeah, it's really interesting.
It is. Maybe we'll touch base on a little bit more history when we close this out. But let's go check out some cam grinders.
All right, let's go on a tour.
So, this is the first grinder. I'm gonna flip it around and show you guys everything, but this was, you said 19 teens.
Made in the 19 teens, yes. This is Ed's very first grinder that he ever acquired.
So let me flip it, you guys check this out.
So this is it right here. This is the grinder that started the company. It was just a lathe and he adapted it with a rocker table so they can do camshafts. This still works. You can do some Model A's and B's on this. We have a bunch of old masters that we still do it. But it was just cobbled together, and this is actually what started the company. We started using this in 1946 or 7. Wherever we moved, he's always kept it. So this is the very first generation of camshaft. You can see it's just chain driven there, and you can see where it was a lathe, and they added this table on the end of it. It's pretty amazing the ingenuity that they have. Still use it from time to time on special oddball deals.
Okay,
but,
I see what you're saying.
For the first, I would say, 20 years that he used it a lot. It was always based off of this one, yeah.
So you're saying your Model A's, Model T's, like you'll do cams like that on this?
Yeah, they can still do some of the old stuff on this one. It's very interesting. Still do regrinds on those. It's very popular still. We're one of the few that can still do it. And we still have to use an original cam. And they were very soft in those days, so we can't put too much of a grind on it, but we still do them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That's something I didn't realize, so that's pretty neat. So when you guys see where it started to where it's now, you can see like the evolution. It's truly like evolution.
Ed's garage is how it started in the 40s.
So let's go to the next.
So we'll jump about 25 years in evolution to when he started making his own cam grinders because he couldn't buy any.
Okay, let's check it out. So walking past, I didn't even realize these were little bitty cams sitting right here, but they do everything from that to like...
Yeah, we do Briggs, Strattons, all different go-karts, junior dragster stuff.
That's wild, look at that.
Part of our small cam division.
That's pretty neat. So I didn't even realize that's what that was sitting there. I just saw the gear, and that's pretty cool. So all the way from little bitty cams to cams like this, Chevy 6-cylinder.
Chevy 6-cylinder, dinosaur motor. Not a lot of people do these again also, but we still do these. And our newest Landis that we're ordering is going to be able to do all the 6-cylinders, the Cummins, the big diesels, things like that. So we'll be able to move all that over to the newer Landis also.
So this is the step from that to this, a 25-year-ish
25
gap.
years, yeah, and then we'll go to the next machines that he built himself.
So while we're over here, I know in the cabinet there's some masters.
The secret masters.
Are they secret?
They are secret, yeah. That's these are the old-timey masters. We have masters all the way from the 40s to now.
Okay.
Recently, they're called plate masters is what they are.
Can you show us a master and explain to everybody?
All right, let me get the combination for the giant master safe, and then we'll open it up.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, there was not much combination required there. For those that don't know, can you explain how like a cam grinder like this works, masters, and just give the process here?
Okay, so we've opened one of the machines, their little master clusters that they have, and these are called plate masters, and these are really what the rocker table follows to grind the cam. So let's pull one off and we'll take a look at it. So this right here is an early 40s. This is called the Max 1 grind, and what that is, it's for a flathead. So this is the Max 3/4 grind. What that is. So the 3/4 was basically a race grind and a street grind combined together, and they called it a 3/4 grind. But that's the master that's been around for approximately 70 years and can still be used today.
So a master operates how?
Yeah, so I'll show you that.
Oh, you're getting there.
Yeah.
Am I jumping ahead?
No, that's okay. God, this younger generation. Now this is a late model, so say from about 10 years ago, a hydraulic roller, so Chevy hydraulic roller master. So it's still using the same system, and what this is this goes on a plate thing that holds several masters at the same time, and it actually follows this outline while it grinds the cam is what will happen, and we'll show you how that process works in a second. But this is the older style way that everybody ground cams on Berkos, on our cam grinders all over the world, until the new CNC things came into here. Now the basic rudimentary of the cam grinding deal is the plate master that we saw goes right here. So we bolt that in here. So that piece that we saw is this right here. So this happens to have two on it. This is the intake and the exhaust. And this is the follower. So as this follows this profile, it translates to the rocker table and grinds the back end. And once we start up the grinder, we'll kind of see how that works in this system of the style. Now with the new Landis grinder, we skip this process completely and we go straight to the grinder. It does the thing, but we'll show you that a little bit later.
So for this process right here, like if you were grinding this cam, what is the time on that?
This would be about 30 minutes.
30 minutes to grind?
To grind this, yeah. And this is 6-cylinder, so it's 12 loads only, but it's a wide cam.
Right.
So just think we're going from 30 minutes to do this process to what we're going to go over there and it'd be 3 to 5 minutes.
What?
It's a big difference.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So you were explaining earlier, the notching. So
yeah, so they pre-notch the cams because this comes in and it's a hard load here, and they'll pre-notch it to give an idea to the operator exactly how far he's going to grind. So once he follows the marks and gets to that and starts to clean that up, then he'll do the finish grinding where we really slow down the machine and make a really nice finish on it.
There's lots of operator skill here, correct?
There is lots of operator skill. Once you see him doing it, you'll see that he feeds it the rates because, you know, and puts the right taper on it and everything. And we like to go slow. It costs a little more money that way, but you have a lot less failure and it's much more accurate.
Right, okay.
Just gotta go a little bit smaller. So see, and this is where the feel comes in, what he's doing by hand. He's listening to the sound, he's feeling it, how smooth it is, and he's deciding the finished cut. So now he'll measure it. So it's really tradescraft when you're grinding like this.
That is. That's not just like start it and run it.
No. It all goes by feel and see his magnifying glasses on there.
Yeah.
That he has.
Oh, wow. And let's go check out some more machines.
All right, so we'll jump ahead and go to like the 80s type of grinders that Ed built himself. This is a Norton Isky grinder, we call it. So it's a Norton base of a lathe, and then Ed cast his own head sear and rocker table. So he helped design this and put them all together. So a lot of the grinders that we have here are all made by Ed. So this is the masters here that we were talking about. The chassis of the wheel, and this is a roller cam that we're grinding right now. We have this one and it became an NC grinder later with little cards. And then we went to making all the masters on CNC and doing it that way. So that's how we generate the masters. We skipped that step, but the masters used to be generated by hand in the 40s. They would grind, they'd have it on a little table and come down and grind a flat, 360 flats.
Really?
For the 360 degrees. And they would take that and polish it by hand. And that was as accurate as you got, yeah.
Huh.
So they would do that, but early on they rented a timeshare computer, and they stood one of the first few, along with Harvey Crane, that were doing computer generated profiles. And they would have to log on, and Ron Isky was the one doing that in the 70s and 80s, and log on to a timeshare computer back east, do the calculations and print it out, and they would still go back and do each degree and polish it. Yeah, so
that's wild. So when did it switch? Is that, you're not referencing that as CNC? When did it go to CNC?
So that was how they did the masters. That's when they started going computer profiling.
So yours
instead of hand mathematics.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I see.
So that was a big jump. And so Ed did that, and Harvey, and they were the first two. I think Harvey was the first one, and then Ron did it. He was in charge of all the cam R&D for many years, through the 70s and 80s, and that's how they did it. And then when we got to the 90s, then we figured out a way to translate that and make CNC masters. So all the master plates that you see now, even that flathead, we have the old version, and then we have a newer version that's been updated. The ramps have been updated.
Right.
The good thing for us is that we go through and update the ramps with new math and new programs all the time, and update them and cut new masters for it. So it's constantly evolving, even though it's the same flathead engine.
Right.
The same master, it changes here and there.
I gotcha. Cool. So this was 80s, and so this carried you all the way up until 20.
Yeah, we still use these depending on what it's for. But then we went to NC control, where we have a box and you put in a card and it grinds it for you. So it's all automated and stuff like that. So take some of the operator out of it. but still, a lot of the people that have worked for us have been here 30 years, 40 years. It's a long
58.
time.
I was talking to
the shop foreman Mike. He's been here 58 years.
Nolan goes, "How long have you been here?" 50 years. He's like 58.
Imagine that, 58 years.
That's wild.
It's because we're a family business and we still take care of all our people because we treat them like family. I mean, that's really what it's about.
I would say 58 years speaks for itself.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's go check out the next one.
All right.
Okay, there is lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of cores. Lots and lots of cores. So this is what you just called a blank?
Blanks, yeah. Just regular cores, pre-grinding. Inline for the inline to get ground. So you can see it's got like a rough shape, but it's gonna be ground. Do you guys heat treat before or after, or treat? No, they're already heat treated all the way through.
All the way through. So
yeah.
You can. So it's not like that core can go on the machine, grind, and then.
Yeah. No, it's all set to go. Once it's ground, it's if it's a cast, we parkerize it, and if it's roller, we just oil up and ship it out. We do everything: the Oldsmobiles, the Model Ts, to Volvos. Opals, Nissan. Yeah, we still do all the Nissan, competition stuff, like the L20s, the L80s, anything like that. I mean,
it's a lot.
Because we have a whole separate import catalog most people don't know.
I didn't know that.
Alfa Romeos, yeah, all that kind of stuff. And then the regular cores here.
What is your most popular cam?
Right now, it's LS.
Really?
It's been that for a while now, yeah. We do tons and tons and tons, which is all this stuff.
Okay, we're in, I think this is the fun section now.
Yes.
It looks, there's a lot going on. We got a lot to discuss. We have Tom with Nolan here. We got Warren kind of back there working.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Okay, I'm gonna throw it to you guys now. Okay. We're now in the new era. This is a different machine.
This is a lot different. So we saw something from the 100 years old, we saw something that's 30 years old, and now we've gone to the newest Landis LT1E, which is the top of the line machine. And so we didn't have really any experience with it, so we figured that we need somebody to hold our hand and let us know what we didn't know about the machine and get us up and running. Who better than Tom Vogel, who's been at Landis 44 years?
44 years, yeah.
Recently retired,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you've been here 3 months so far and getting us going and getting all the profiles done and setting it up perfect. It's been really seamless, but it's so advanced. Tell us about the machine a little bit.
So in the last 8 weeks, we've already ran over 100 different profiles, and it can grind the cams within microns of what was done before. So we'll take it as a mechanical process and made it seamless that we can switch between profiles and write programs. And with some SAP software from Landis, we can generate the heat to make sure that we're not doing any metal damage to the cams. So this is really an advanced process for Isky, and it's exciting for both Landis and Isky.
That's awesome. That's quite the difference from those masters that you showed me over there.
Absolutely. So like, for example, we were talking about the craftsmanship of those guys that have been working for us 30 years, and you'll see that he's, turning it in a little by little. All this, it generates for what material you have, how deep you can go on each cut, and shows you how hot it'll be, and if you're within the limits and you don't distort the metal, right? So that's really the fastest you can go. So there's so many things to take into consideration: wheel speed, how fast it's moving, the material that it's cutting, and Tom is been in charge of all that.
The wheel's running at 120 meters a second when we're cutting the steel camshafts. So put that in relationship to the cars, it's pretty fast.
How many RPM would that be?
It's over 6,500.
Oh, 6,000.
That's a lot.
That's
still a lot.
That's amazing that it does. Yeah, and so we've gone from cutting a cam at the fastest ever in 30 minutes to now.
We've been down as low as 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So about 5 minutes per cam finished. The good thing is we have such a good RA that we don't even need to do any polishing or soaking after.
Explain
that a little bit.
Yeah, RA, all that.
The measurement of the finish, Warren, if you wanted to show the gauge that you guys first.
What this machine does is it's measuring the surface finish of the finished product. And right there is a 0.36 RA. And how that works is it has a diamond right here, and that's what drags across the finish, so for it to determine what the finish is.
Right. So you guys are doing this on every cam, you said?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So as he was explaining to me, RA is like...
The RA is as it drags that pin across here, it's measuring that surface finish.
Right.
The other thing I was have you explain the hydrostatic, the difference in this machine compared to even this machine without that is a big difference.
Yeah, this machine, the spindle is hydrostatic, the ways are hydrostatic, the travers is hydrostatic. There was one camshaft where the lobe was wider than the wheel. We oscillated the wheel in the process of grinding in excess of 8 times per second as we were going down through, and we ground at least 20 or 30 cams that way, right, or more.
Oh wow, wow. So is this something we could check out now? Can we go check out the machine?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's normally our Spintron operator, but he's our top machinist, so we have him checking out and getting it dialed in for the other operators with Tom.
Okay, Warren says we're ready.
We're ready. We're going to
Okay.
do a dry cycle here.
So that's what it would be doing without the coolant on. So you can see the wheel moving and spinning.
Right.
All right, so that's the finish. See how slow it goes to finish it now?
Okay.
Make it nice and pretty, back out, and then go back to the next.
So that's one lobe done.
That's one lobe done completely.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty fast, right? When you compare it to what we showed you on the other one, it's a big difference.
Huge difference. So this is quite different from the machines earlier. It's just the evolution, but it's super cool. So this is one machine, and then there's a second one on order. So you're gonna have 2 of these machines.
Yep.
Yeah?
We have to wait 9 months to get the other one, unfortunately. Shortages and all that stuff. It's a pretty complicated machine. Have you walked around it?
No? Would you like to show me?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, so
So it looks very small footprint in the front.
yeah.
But if you come around, this is where the spindle is. This is the whole control system box. This is the pump and filter system here, a barn system. 1,600 gallons of coolant in here.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
When the other machine comes, it's gonna be on the other side and it uses the same coolant system.
Yeah, with the help of Landis, I wanted a big enough unit that could control the 2 machines. So we're getting the bigger, longer machines, so we'll be able to do diesel, Cummings, and things like that. And it'll be on that side of it, but this 1,600 gallons will be able to pump both machines at the same time.
How many of these machines are actually out there for reference? Like,
Well, for example, cam grinder, aftermarket cam grinders, not very many.
right.
I think so, from our competitors, maybe 2 or 3 out there. But really, the ones that use these would be the big factories.
Right,
And they're
okay.
used to running, like Tom was telling me that he's set up Ford or GM, and he goes into a plant and they'll set up one machine that runs 365 days, 24/7. A robot loads it, unloads it, and they run the same cam profile for years and years and years. And that's
Right.
all they do. This is totally different. You know, we have 1,800 different cam part numbers and grinds. So it's something different for them to have so many switchovers. We're not doing production, we're almost doing job shop. We do 5 cams at a time, 1 cam at a time, like for our street outlaws and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's a little bit different. So a lot of the manufacturers haven't gone to something like this. We're one of the, I think we're the only one that has a hydrostatic machine like this.
Right. Okay.
A lot of the LS guys are running older CNC cam grinders and things like that. But on this one in particular, I wanted to get the best one so that it would last the longest and also be the most accurate. I really didn't want to have to do polishing or anything after because that takes more time per cam.
It comes out
I
of the
wanted
machine.
to grind it,
Right.
oil it up, and put it in the box. And
That's
what
awesome.
we've accomplished. And that's the first time that they've done something like that. So between Noritake, Max at Noritake, they developed the wheel at the same time we were developing this machine, because these are purpose built. They don't just build them and you pick it out.
That's what I was trying
This
to.
is purpose built for what we're doing. So the steady rest that we pick, the spindle, the wheels are specially made. It's a carbon boron type of wheel, and we went through testing when we were checking the machine and changed the buildup of it, made it a little grittier so that we could get a better RA finish on it. Because we don't want to plunge cut like a factory would be doing. So they just we want a real nice precision finish on it. It all has to work together. And so when we have Tom here, it's because he has so much experience that he'll be able to say, you know what, we tried this at Ford here, or we tried this at GM in Brazil, or we did this and this, and he can dial us in. And that's why it's so important to have somebody like that out here to do this with us. We wouldn't be able to do it ourselves. We don't know enough about the specifics of that that we could do that. Right.
This is a very special machine that's not just like you go pick out a CNC off the shelf, so to say. Like, it's a purpose-built
it's for your specs. So when we were going through some of the specs, I would ask questions and I'd realize, I didn't think about that yet. So for example, this cooling system is made by Barnes, and it's not made by Landis, but I told them, when we want to check it out, we want everything running. I want it all together. I want to build it so that we can hook up another grinder to it. Will you help me set that up? And they were willing to buy the machine for us, hook it all up, design it, do the software so that it all works together without us having to do it. If we had bought this separate and landed this after, it would have took months and months and months for us to figure it out. And every step of the way, they let us down the right path to what we were doing, because we're very specialized.
Right.
Normally a machine like this, to get your money out of it, the investment, you have to just plunge through camshafts, and we don't do that. We're precision, specialty. We'll do 10 different cams in a row.
Right.
So we need to be able to do that consistently without a lot of trouble on setup and things like that. So it's a whole new ballgame doing it this way.
Pretty neat to see where it came from 100 years ago.
It's really interesting
to now.
Because Isky, we're a family-owned company, always going to be a family-owned company. We're investing in infrastructure, and this is like getting into Willy Wonka. Not a lot of people, we don't let a lot of people in, we don't have people come in, but, we figure in this new day and age, we'll let people see what it's like behind the curtain. We've been around so long, we've been in business over 75 years.
And this is pretty cool. This is hand-drawn, you said from the 60s?
Yeah, so this was done by Universal Camshaft Company, Muskegon, Michigan. And this was an 8620 Chevy Bigglebach. And this is how they used to do it. So this had all the lateral information. Number 1 was an exhaust, number 2 an intake, had all the journal diameters and all that. And so when they were producing the cam, this was their blueprint, which you would never use now. It's all CNC stuff now. But
this is cool though.
To go back through, these are the angles on each cam. So you can see number 3 from the center pin, number 1 intake straight up here, the rotation. All the dowels on there, the gearing, the bolt pattern. So when they're actually making a cam from scratch, they would use all this stuff.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, and so we have notes on them and stuff. And what we do is, when we were putting all this information into the Landis, we use this original data to go back and double check what we were actually measuring.
That's so awesome. That's cool. I think this is just like, this is almost more neat just because like there's a lot of history right here. Like that's...
This here is probably 40 years old, I believe. Well, actually, this is probably 50 years old, this sheet. So we have it in the archives. So we have this for every camshaft that was ever ground, really.
Really?
This is what we do. So we have prints on every one of them, so when they come in, we can cross-check them.
The amount of paperwork. I can't even imagine. It's pretty cool.
This will be all done in archive. What I'll do is when we go up front, I'll show you on my laptop what we've done instead of this, and I'll show you what the new modeling looks like.
Yes.
So this is the old style, and then we'll go up front and I'll show you.
Number 13.
Cool.
So, for example, we were talking about the prints that we had up earlier that we were going from the Camshaft Machine Company. Now what we do is we do these scans, and we can scan the cores coming in, and it gives us all the data points. So we're doing an access through it. We have mentions the cam journals, the timing pin, things like that. And then, like we showed you on those, we'll get each angle between what the core is that comes in and what it is. And so this is a new way of doing those prints.
Quite different.
It is quite different, and you get a totally different report from it. This is that same cam lobe, and this is the data that comes off of it, basically. So you're looking at your angles, intake and exhaust, where it is from the pins, and you get all the same information, but through a scan. So it's much quicker So lobe widths, journal widths, dimensions from 0.
Do you guys do these scans, or do they come from somewhere else?
We do the scans in-house now. We have a reader that'll scan it for us.
Gotcha.
So, which is very cool. So this is what a sample cam design would be like. So this is for a Ford flathead, which we still do. We did a Max 1 grind for about 50 years, and now with this new computer and the CNC, we've done a Max 1 Plus. So we've redesigned it totally using today's technology. So this is, for example, what it is. So I'll turn these off so that we can go through them one by one real quick. So this is just basically a cam lift and valve lift here that you see, and you have all your numbers. And then you can look at velocity. So you see the velocity here coming through. You can look at acceleration curves, which is here. Comes down, and then the jerk. And what it does is tell you at each duration where you're at, like the overall duration on this, it shows that. The max lift is 365, but it has all the angles. So what we do is we take this data and we turn it into machine data, basically. And goes right, we can go right from design right into the machine. Actually, we can do it wirelessly into the server of the machine. So I can send a master right now, and we can start cutting it within a few minutes once they load it.
Oh, wow.
So, so much faster, instead of generating that plate master that we were talking about, doing it by hand, cutting that, then going to the machine and verifying. So it cuts it. I mean, the time is saved.
That is a big difference. So I would say we successfully showed the journey from early machines to
early cam grinding and
all the way to like doing it on a laptop and sending it out there.
Yes.
So
exactly.
It's pretty cool.
It's much faster now.
It's pretty cool.
Much more
okay. So I'm gonna flip this around and we're gonna close this out. Okay. So with that said, I would say that's a wrap. I don't even think we touched an ounce of what could be covered here.
Not really. I mean, we didn't even go into like Spintron or really design or anything like that. It's
at all.
There's a lot more that happens that people don't really understand. It's like camshafts are still a black art to most people.
It's like a black magic.
Yeah,
kinda.
And really, as you've kind of seen, like things that we have to take into consideration, design and production and things like that. It's not as easy as people think.
I have heard people say that they have got cam design figured out, like don't know what all, and I'm like, once you think that, I feel like anytime I've heard anything about cam design, I realize how little I know. Like the numbers that you see on a card are very
I'm very lucky in that I've learned from Ron and Ed growing up, and then also that they sent me to Harvey Crane to learn. So I learned his way to do it, and he told me I really wanted a lot of hard and fast answers, being a younger age than most people that he dealt with, and being of the computer age, like I was that first group of the computer age kind of design. And his answer was always WEW, and I'm like, what is that? He said, whatever works. Oh. So you can theorize and say, I think this will work, but until you put on the dyno or get it on the track, even there's a lot of dyno queens, but you get on the track in real world, you know, you got to cut a little timing out to get that 60 foot down. It totally destroys the cam and the flow and
WEW. So that's kind of interesting, actually, if you think about it, because as we're sitting here talking about all these like computer situations, there's still the whole like, is rudimentary, is that the right word? Like the basics, like where you go back to like, does it work? If it works, it works. Yep. And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
That's right.
So you have to, it's still got the commons, it's still got like all of the personal, like you have to have stuff up here.
All the cam designers and cam grinders can tell, like Billy Godbold or anybody from anywhere, Howard's or wherever, or Lunati. I mean, all of us are in the same boat. We take all our knowledge base that we have and theorize what we think will work the best. But there's still things we learn every day. And the thing is with, you know, everything changing so fast, different heads, different blah. Yeah. You know, like Steve Morris, what works for him one year, the next year he doesn't want. He wants something different. A lot of engine builders are like that. So it's constantly changing, so you have to update. Being a family business, you have to really invest in the infrastructure to do it and the time that it takes. It's not easy. Right. It's hard to find really good engineers, good workers. But we've constantly done it, and there's not a lot of turnover because it's a family business. So we just keep plugging along and stay constantly in it. You know, guys like Rod, our main tech guy, he's like, he went out to the race this weekend. That was in Erndale just to see what's going on. I'm always at the tracks trying to see what the new setups are. You know, when we sponsor somebody, it's always a different setup. Like you might have Scott, who's a Pro Charge Hemi. Then you have Cody Baker or Dean, that's, you know, a screw blower type of deal, or twin turbos with LUTs, things like that. Every bit of information we take in, and that helps us be a little bit better. But you still, whatever works, right?
I like that.
You still have to. You're never smart. You're never done learning. You have to constantly keep up with it.
And it is rapid acceleration, I feel like, or rapid change in speed and technology behind it and everything. Like, if you just look even in the last 5-10 years, like the progression and people's like warp on like what is fast and what is high horsepower it's totally different.
Yeah, when I was coming up, like, you know, I got to drive a pro stock car for a little while there and tested it and things like that. And you know, that was the times of Glidden and everybody, and we were trying to break the 8-second barrier. And, you know, we'd shut it off right away and get pushed back to the pit. Right. You know, and now the Street Outlaw guys, they're running, well, I shouldn't say what they're running, but they're super fast. You know, 0.9 something, you know, 60 foot, you know, like some of the drag week guys like that. And then, you know, like you're running 7s and you're driving 200 miles. I mean, it's unbelievable how the parts have improved and what lasts.
You heard it here. Yeah. Even Nolan, in a roundabout way, called me fast. You
are a fast girl. Yes.
No, that's my term. I've been saying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I want to be a fast girl.
Yeah, you are fast. You could get faster. I think you could get into the 6s if everything goes right.
What do you mean could?
Well, you ran 730.
Did you hear the doubt in his voice?
I'm just saying.
Could.
Well, we'll try a new cam. We tried a new cam this time. It went better.
It did. You know what, though? I think our hold here is not necessarily that. I think we've just worked out some bugs.
Yeah,
we were running 730s on half of a full converter.
I know, that's the thing. Just think if it actually grips and goes.
So,
yeah.
I'll get up here. His doubt there is unjustified.
I don't doubt, but like you say,
you could
to get onto my wall of winners.
You could get into the 6s.
You could.
I've been a winner.
True, you did win Rocky Mountain Race Week.
Do you hear the disrespect here?
No, I'm not saying anything. You're terrific.
Okay, you heard it here first, people. I'm awesome. Okay. And signing off. If you guys like these videos, though, interestingly enough, Isky has their own YouTube channel. Is it even running? It's
starting to be up because we were talking about all the content we're going to do. We're going to do a bunch of fun stuff with Alex and the Outlaws and some indie stuff and a bunch of trips. We have a lot of stuff coming out. It's going to be really fun, so stay tuned.
So if you like this kind of stuff, can they subscribe? Is it where they can? Is it up and going?
Not yet. And that's partly your fault.
This is my time that I get to call him out for not getting his stuff done. Because last week, he busted me out as soon as I walked in. You didn't post enough on sick week. Just like all of you guys called me out. Nolan called me out too.
Well, busy running a company. We're trying to get this machine set up. No, I'm just teasing.
Okay, well, the YouTube will be active sooner than later. But until then, you can follow on Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram, yes.
Yes.
And our website, iskycams.com.
And if you need to order a cam, go to the website.
Go to the website.
Contact information.
Or you can call. You can still reach people here without getting put on hold.
That's where the
and
number
talk
would be.
to real techs.
That's where the number would be.
Yes, on the website.
Yeah, you can talk to people.
And Facebook.
That's a big deal.
It is nowadays. Yeah. Especially people that have built engines and things. It makes a big difference.
Facts. So stay tuned because there's going to be more of this. If you guys like this, let me know. And if you have ideas of what you want on the Isky YouTube,
yes, let us know.
Let him know. I'll probably be the one shooting the video. Actually,
exactly.
I won't be shooting it because we both know. We all know here that I can't even edit and upload my own, but I'll help.
Yes.
At some point. So that's it for now.
We'll get it all done.
That's it for now. And do you want to sign off or me?
You can sign off. But thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it.
That was so lame. Okay. As always, be happy, go fast, and stay pretty. I will see you guys next time. That was a perfect closing.